वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा विघ्नहर्ता दुःखहर्ता दयालु हरे कैलास में बुला लो बुला लो बुला लो।
The eternal sound and the reverberance, the only sound, the only sound, the only sound. The snow rustled with the breath, the leaves quivered, the trees swayed. The snow rustled with the breath, the leaves quivered, the trees swayed. Joining the pennants, the river danced the vibrations. The eyes three shut, the dark form still as a rock, the soul still. The eyes three shut, the dark form still as a rock, the soul still. The Ganges gushing but silently out of the swirled up unkempt mane. The Ganges rushed but silently out of the swirled up unkempt mane. The crescent moon glinting bright, the matted lock serene, sublime. The virile form etched as stone on a pristine throne, still only the beloved Sati, lost to flames, even Lord bemoans loss of his soulmate. His beloved Sati, lost to flames, even Lord bemoans loss of his soulmate. His soul so frayed, eons passed by, divine silence lingered, conquering grief's way. Three worlds in a strife, Shiva's guidance desired. Shiva Shakti union, path to salvation concluded. Lotus petal were her eyes, skin dark as night, yet face bright. Parvati the gentle, resolve as steel, set to gain heart of Shiva. Indeed, she served him, she prayed, pining for his forgotten love. No charm worked, Kama's arrows to ashes he burnt, third eyes evoked. Oh, beauty and love fail the charming game, entry to Shiva's soul, Parvati's only goal. Stands in penance she for years and centuries, no food nor comfort, only chant to match her beloved. The three worlds vibrate. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Tingling his soul with her presence, the divine form stirred. Parvati pulled the string, the calling his soul evoked, searching the delight of his being. He emerged in serenity, drawn by Parvati's strength, besotted Lotus Eye's beauty, fell in love so intense. Propose to her did he, she wanted him to just ask my parents, follow decree, if my hand want you must. Shiva, the besotted, requested the parents, honored, they accepted. Sounds of gaiety the airs rent.
Om sa pa sa sa re sa ni ma ni ni sa ni pa re pa re re ga re pa pa ni sa sa ni pa ni sa ni re sa ga re ga sa ni sa pa ni ma pa ni sa ni ga re sa ni pa ma re ga re ga sa ni sa pa ni ma pa ni sa ni sa ni pa ma re ga re sa sa ni pa ga re sa re ga re sa ni sa ni pa re ga re sa re ga re sa ni sa ni pa re ga re sa ni sa pa ni sa pa ni sa pa ni sa.
Well, after that cosmic dance of Shiva and Parvati, something extraordinary happened in the Himalayan mountains, and the story needs to be told. Once upon a time, in the Dwapar Yuga, when the sheep rested with the wolves, and emperors and kings feasted along with shepherds, when one sun rose and the other set. Well, in those times, something extraordinary indeed happened. Shiva, the mighty god with the blue throat, lived in the icy caves of Mount Kailas with his beautiful wife Parvati, the daughter of the Himalayas. Parvati never failed to get impressed with the lofty peaks surrounding her own cave and admired the Himalayan peaks and mountain ranges. And she came to live with Shiva along with his Ganas and his chief gate guardian, Nandi, Shiva's confidant, Shiva's man Friday. Parvati admired the devotion that Nandi had for Shiva, and she thought, now that she was Shiva's consort, his wife, Nandi would show her the same devotion. Well, let's see what happened once. Life was not much fun for Parvati, my friends, because Shiva's business kept him away for years and years in distant mountain tops. After all, he was the creator, the destroyer, and he had to dance on top of the world to keep it going. So one such time, when Shiva was away, he left Nandi, the gate guardian of Mount Kailas, behind to be with Parvati. Parvati loved Nandi as her own son, and she decided to go for a bath. So she turned to Nandi and said, "Be my guard, Nandi. Don't let anyone come inside." "Yes, mother," said Nandi, and he stood guard outside the icy caves. But you see, Shiva had finished his business and was eager to get back home to Parvati. Nandi felt the presence of his master, and he ran to him and bowed before him and did nothing to stop Shiva. Shiva began to walk, take long strides towards the icy caves, towards the inner chambers. Parvati had just finished her bath and was inside dressing herself up when she felt the presence of somebody in the outer chambers. She knew it was Shiva, but she was annoyed. When Shiva entered, he found Parvati's eyebrows in a frown, and he knew that Parvati was annoyed. "What is wrong, my dear?" "Oh Shiva, I had given instructions to Nandi not to let anyone in. And look, here you are." Shiva laughed. Surely you didn't expect Nandi to stop me from entering my own house, did you? Parvati was not pleased. A little voice whispered in her ear, Parvati, Nandi is Shiva's Gana. They are all Shiva's Ganas. And Parvati never forgot this. A few years passed. Again Shiva was out on his usual business, and this time he took Nandi along with him. Parvati liked being alone, enjoyed her freedom all by herself, but not all the time. And Shiva was away for years and years. Parvati was lonely. She turned to Mother Ganga. Oh, Mother Ganga, I am so lonely. How do I pass my time? Oh, Himalaya Parvat, how do I pass my time? Shiva doesn't understand. I get so lonely. I miss him. Oh, how I miss him. And she sat down, deep in thought. And suddenly she woke up with a start. A brilliant idea had struck her. I am a goddess. Yes, Mother Ganga, Himalaya Parbat, I am a goddess. I can do anything I want. I know what I will do. I will create myself a baby boy, a sweet, innocent playmate. I won't be lonely anymore. And Parvati ran to the edge of the river Ganga. On the banks, she gathered some sand and poured some water and mixed it up nicely and began to shape it in the form of a baby. She drew eyes, nose, mouth, and laughed at her own creation, ears. And she looked at his stomach and she felt something was amiss. So she took some extra sand and patted it on his tummy, making it nice, roly-poly, and took her forefinger and pressed the belly button. Now her baby was perfect. Yes, Mother Ganga, Himalaya Parvat, come and see. My creation, my baby. Isn't he lovely? And she put him out in the sun to dry. And soon the boy opened his eyes, and Parvati went and picked him up and looked at her own creation, laughed at her baby. Oh, my sweet, innocent playmate. Oh, my baby. I won't be lonely anymore. I won't be lonely anymore.
Goddess Parvati gazed in wonder at her handsome baby boy. She was spellbound by her own creation, the prince of her abode. Shri Gauri Mata Putram, Shri Gauri Mata Putram, Ganesham, 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 Shri Gauri Mata Putram. The entire nature resonated with this beautiful ragam, Amrita Varshini. the rain-inducing ragam of Carnatic music. The very skies opened up in a shower of flowers to welcome the sweet little good-natured boy of Mother Goddess. Pahi pahi bala ganapate, pahi pahi bala ganapate, bhavasuta gunanidhe. 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 Sari ga gari ga pa pa ga pa ni sa ni sari sari gari ga pa ga ri sa ni pa ni sari ga ri sa ni pa ni re sa ni pa ga pa sa ni pa ga ri. Pahi pahi bala ganapate. With that welcoming ragam, Hamsa Dhvani, all the birds, beasts and animals of the mountains and forests eagerly gathered around the little boy, wanting to be his playmate. They all sang together, "Oh my friend Ganesha, tu rehna saath hamesha. Oh my friend Ganesha, tu rehna saath hamesha. Oh my friend Ganesha, tu rehna saath hamesha. सबसे प्यारी, सबसे न्यारी, तेरे बस में है ये दुनिया सारी. अपनी फ्रेंडशिप कितनी पक्की, कितनी सच्ची, कितनी अच्छी, इसको सदा निभाना. Oh my friend Ganesha, तू रहना साथ हमेशा. Oh my friend Ganesha, तू रहना साथ हमेशा. Oh my friend Ganesha, तू रहना साथ हमेशा. Mother Parvati was overjoyed to spend time with her little boy and cherished every single moment of motherhood. She taught her son everything she knew, and the little boy mastered all the 64 art forms in a flash. But what he loved doing the most was to dance and bounce to his mother's tunes, a dream come true for any mother. Mother Parvati enjoyed wielding the cymbals while her little son danced and bounced around her in joy. Dimmi kitataka dikkutana, dimmi kitataka takitana tawoduta. Dimmi kitataka dikkutana, dimmi kitataka takitana tawoduta. Udanita nadridani dhritom dhritom tom tete ganapati nam sada. Udanita nadridani dhritom dhritom tom tete ganapati nam sada. Bomma bomma tateyya teyya takadina kunaku din bhajan kare. Bomma bomma tateyya teyya takadina kunaku din bhajan kare. Udanita nadridani dhritom dhritom tom tete ganapati nam sada. Udanita nadridani dhritom dhritom tom tete ganapati nam sada. Tete ganapati nam sada. Tete ganapati nam sada. After a day full of fun and frolic, Mother Parvati gently patted her son to sleep, singing his favorite songs and lullabies. She crooned to him, "Oh my dear son, you're always first and foremost in my thoughts, O little son of Gauri. May all fears and evils vanish far, far away from you." प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश, प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश, गौरी सुत प्रिय गणेश, सकल विघ्न भय कलेश दूर से निवारे, सकल विघ्न भय कलेश दूर से निवारे, दूर से निवारे.
The days flew into weeks, the weeks flew into months, and the months rolled into years. Seasons changed, and little Vinayak, Parvati's own creation, grew up to be a young boy of 6 years of age. His twinkling eyes masked steely determination and a ferocious strength that he had in him. Parvati never ceased to admire her own creation. One day, Parvati, along with Vinayak, decided to take a long walk in the forests, the dense, deep jungles that surrounded the icy caves of Kailas mountains. Both Parvati and Vinayak had their eyes and ears open. You see, the forest was full of colors and full of sounds. Truly a forest of enchantment. The sun cracked through the canopy of leaves and lit the path ahead of them as they trudged through the forest path that was decorated with outgrown roots, wildflowers, and leaves that crunched beneath their bare feet as they walked. The forest hummed with a life of its own. Truly, it seemed like a symphony. The leaves danced to an unheard beat as they twirled and swirled, dived and dipped as they fell to the ground. And little Vinayak twirled about, looking at the falling leaves, the bees buzzing, and the deer flitting along the forest path, and the birds singing their song sweetly. He danced around, clapping his hands with glee, and Mother Parvati looked at her son and laughed. Truly an enchanting forest. Parvati grew a bit tired, and through the forest haze, she spied on a fresh pool of water.
तज्जम धिमी जम तैय झम जे किट झम मद धरुं तथा तो तद्धिते तज्जम धिमी जम तैय झम जे किट झम मद धरुं तथा तो तद्धिते तज्जम धिमी जम तैय झम जे किट झम मद धरुं तथा तो तद्धिते तरुं दिग्गिजं धिमिते ता हजं ता त्रा धुं धूत तरुं दिग्गिजं धिमिते ता हजं त्रा द्रुं तद्धि तकरितिजं तकनकजं तकरिति तकनक तकधरिकिट तक 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 तळंगं धित्तळंगं तद्धि तळंगं किणनक किणनक किणां धनं जनुं किणां धनं तत्तरं किटतरं तगिधिरि ततत्रै किटत्र त्रै त्रै निटतक धन्धा धडान किटतक तुततधिरे तकरितिजं तकनकजं तकरिति तकनक तकधरिकिट तक तळंगं धित्तळंगं तद्धि तळंगं किणनक किणनक किणां धनं जनुं किणां धनं దిరి తతత్రై కిటత్ర త్రై త్రై నిటతక ధంధా ధడాన కిటతక తుతధిరే ఛంతది ఘుంతది కంతది ధూంతది రిందర హదరింగణ జగ జనన ఝం 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 తొంగణ నం 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 జింతరగిట చొంగతరగిట తొందరగిట తరగిట ఝంకిటతగత 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 ఈ జనక జనక తడిమి ఝం తగనక 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 తగనక
Her mother heart fluttered like a bird's. Her lotus eyes scanned the war-torn side. Now, heart hammering against her gentle chest, her eyes searched her creation, her beloved son. Those eyes filled with terror to see the horror. Shiva, her beloved, the one she won with penance, stood his leg over her little one's chest. She swayed, quivering in grief, clutching her heart. She saw what no mother would ever want to see. Her child in pieces too, slain, fallen, senseless, dead. A loud, painful wail slit her tender, trembling lips. She rushed, gathered her child to her heaving bosom. Seeing the head away from the torso, she felt stricken. She looked up, her eyes bloodshot, tears streaming, questioning. How did this happen? How did you let it happen? Oh, how? Oh, how? She saw Shiva, behind him Vishnu and Brahma, Nandi his faithful, Ganesha some slain, some injured and defeated, and on her lap lay her slain son. A few moments, her heart swelled with pride. Her son had vanquished the Ganas single-handed. A shudder shook the earth, heaven and skies. She had risen, laying down her boy gently on the ground. Her eyes from a gentle grieving petal transformed. Balls of fire they were, her face had turned dark. Storm winds swirled, tornadoes rose, the sea surged. Drums, cymbals, bells clanged as Mahachandi rose. 100 times the size towering the mighty mountains. A terrible roar vibrated the universe, sending shock waves. Shaktis in millions flowed out her overhanging tongue. The wrath a mother unleashed, the Bhadrakali. Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, the Devas stunned. Ganas, the world, spiraled into chaos. Shaktis wreaked havoc in the three worlds. Devas, the Asuras, and the creatures pleaded. All eyes reverted to Shiva, the only savior.
Shakti was unleashed in Parvati. Shakti has two forms, my friends. The one that is Kali, full of wild anger and who is bloodthirsty. And the other is Gauri, the mother, the demure, domesticated, full of love, the one who created Vinayak. Shiva knew he had to get the Gauri back in Parvati. Parvati was inconsolable and smouldering with rage and anger. Shiva went to her full of contrition and bowed and said, "O Parvati, I'm sorry for what I have done, but I don't understand. O Shiva, for all your three eyes, you're pretty short-sighted, my lord. and your wild temper. Look what you have done. Shiva, you killed our son. Our son? I did not know. Oh, you don't know anything, Shiva. You stay away for years and years on distant mountain tops. You don't know how lonely it gets for me, all by myself. So I decided to create a sweet baby boy, a sweet innocent playmate to keep me company. And look what you have done in anger. Suddenly Shiva understood the enormous mistake that he had committed. And he wanted to see Parvati happy. He loved his wife. He cared for her. So he turned to her and said, "Oh Parvati, tell me, what can I do? I'll do anything to see you happy." Well, Parvati wiped her tears and turned to Shiva and said, "Go towards the north. Take your mighty trident with you. The first living creature that you see, cut off its head, bring it back and fix it onto a dead son's body, breathing life into him. That's what I want." Well, Shiva did exactly as he was commanded. No choice there. But he did it because he loved his wife. Shiva went towards the north, the northern direction with his mighty trident. You see, my friends, north is the direction marked by the pole star, the one star that does not move in the sky. It is also the direction that is associated with stillness and stability, and hence wisdom. And the first living creature that Shiva saw was a mighty elephant. Shiva took out his trident, and the rest, as they say, is history. He cut off the elephant's head, brought it back to Parvati, and fixed the head of the elephant onto his dead son's body, breathing life into him. And lo and behold, the little boy woke up with a long nose and big floppy ears. And when Parvati saw this creation of Shiva, she was truly enchanted, and she smiled, clapped her hands, and looked at Mother Ganga. Mother Ganga, Himalaya Parvat, come see this creation of Shiva. Isn't he better than my own little baby boy? Oh Shiva, thank you. Now Shiva heaved a sigh of relief. He was getting rather fond of the son himself, the little boy with the elephant face, and both Shiva and Parvati named their son Gajamukha.
The little Gajamukha was very excited to explore his new face, his long trunk, and his big flappy ears. He was so happy to be alive. But more importantly, he was proud to be accepted as Lord Shiva's son. Sada Shivan Maindane, Gajamukhane 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 Sada Shivan Maindane. The little boy rose as Gajamukha, the son of Shiva and Parvati, the one with the kind elephant face and the big fat tummy. Gajavadana Karuna Sadana, Shri Gajavadana Karuna Sadana, श्री गजवदना करुणा सदना शंकर बाला लंबोदर सुंदर गजवदना करुणा सदना शंकर बाला लंबोदर सुंदर गजवदना करुणा सदना शंकर बाला लंबोदर सुंदर गजवदना The entire universe, the earth and the skies welcomed their new lord Gajamukha, the one who will always be worshipped first. गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि. The little roly-poly boy danced around in joy, happy with all the attention that he was getting. His proud mother Parvati danced around with him in a procession, while all the gods showered their blessings on the little Gajamukha. भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति 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 भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति. ब्रह्माए वेद पढ़ाए ब्रह्माए वेद पढ़ाए संग में आई सरस्वती भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति. विष्णु आए चक्रधारे विष्णु आए चक्रधारे संग में आई श्री लक्ष्मी भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति. राम जी आए लक्ष्मण आए राम जी आए लक्ष्मण आए संग में आई सीता सती भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति. कृष्ण जी आए बंसी बजाए कृष्ण जी आए बंसी बजाए कृष्ण जी आए बंसी बजाए संग में आई राधा रानी भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति भवानी आगे नाचत आए गणपति.
Into divine hearts traipsed he, so loved and revered indeed, blessed by the Trimurti and all the three Devis. Prayers to him first, far and wide, none can resist. To invoke the soul within, Gajamukha, Ganesha, Vinayaka it is.
मुदाकरातमोदकं सदा भक्तिसाधकं कलाधरावदंशकं विलासिलोकरक्षकम् अनायकैकनायकं विनाशिदेपदैत्यकं नदाशुभाशुनाशकं नमामि तं विनायकम् नमामि तं विनायकम् नदेतरादिभीकरं नवोदितार्कभास्वरं नमः सुरारिनिर्जरं नताधिकापदुत्तरं सुरेश्वरं निधीश्वरं गजेश्वरं गणेश्वरं महेश्वरं समाश्रये परात्परं निरन्तरम् नमामि तं विनायकम् समस्तलोकशङ्करं निरस्त्यदैत्यकुञ्जरं तरेतरोदरं वरं वरे भवक्त्रमक्षरं कृपाकरं क्षमाकरं मुदाकरं यशस्करं मनस्करं नमस्कृतं नमस्करोमि भास्वरम् नमामि तं विनायकम् अकिञ्चनार्धिमार्जनं सिदन्दनोक्तिभाजनं पुरारिपूर्वनन्दनं सुरारिगर्वशर्वणं प्रपञ्चनाशभीषणं धनञ्जयादिभूषणं कपोलदानवारणं भजे पुराणवारणम् नमामि तं विनायकम् नमामि तं विनायकम् कान्तकान्तदन्तकान्तिबन्धकान्तकात्मजम् अचिन्त्यरूपमदगीनमदरायतरं तदरे निरन्तरं वसन्तमेव योगिनं तमेकतन्तमेव तं विचिन्तयामि सततम् नमामि तं विनायकम्
Thus goes the story of Gajamukha, the elephant-headed, roly-poly son of Shiva and Parvati, who is worshipped all around the world and known as the remover of all obstacles.
वाजिमृदंग तालविना मेरे नाचत गौरी रणा वाजिमृदंग तालविना मेरे नाचत गौरी रणा गणपति बप्पा मोरिया मंगलमूर्ति मोरिया गणपति बप्पा मोरिया मंगलमूर्ति मोरिया नाच नाच रे गजानना वाजे मृदंग वाजे मृदंग वाजे मृदंग तालविना मेरे नाचत गौरी रणा वाजे मृदंग तालविना मेरे नाचत गौरी रणा गणपति बप्पा मोरिया मंगलमूर्ति मोरिया 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 गणपति बप्पा मोरिया मंगलमूर्ति मोरिया.
Thus, we come to the end of Gajamukha, the mystical story presented to you through the kaleidoscope of 4 different art forms: poetry, dance, Bharatanatyam, storytelling, and classical vocal through singing. I hope you enjoyed this story as we painted this story in a myriad of colors for you today. Vinayaka or Gajamukha, is also very special in the Indian pantheon of gods. Before we start any work, we always seek Ganesha's, Gajamukha's blessings. Did you know that Ganesha is worshipped all over the world? And he is also known by many names. But let me share with you that Ganesha is worshipped in Mahabani as Mahabani in Borneo, Totkar in Mongolia, Choprak in Tibet, Vinayakshara in Japan. In Nepal, his idols are depicted with 5 faces as Surya Ganapati. People in Java worship him in the yogic pose of meditation. Kwanshidiyik in China. He is known as Kwanshidiyik in China. The Greek god of wisdom is known as Janus and is pictured with the head of an elephant. In Mexico, the elephant-headed human torso god is worshipped. So there you have it. In almost all the corners of the world, Ganesha is worshipped. So this was the presentation of Gajamukha. Hema Subramanian, Usha Venkatraman, Geeta Venkateshwar, and Anupama Muthukrishnan Devarajan. We thank you for being a wonderful audience. Namaskaram.